The venerable Land Rover Defender, a sport utility that has been around since 1990, is playing a role in the future preservation of Kenyan wildlife. The mostly diesel-powered Defenders are the basis for the modified safari cars that pound along the two-track trails that bring tourists into the bush country to view the wild animals in their natural element. The tourist dollars are what will ensure the animals remain able to be seen in their native habitat by future generations. For our annual wish list feature in Autoweek magazine, we went in search of a real safari experience to hunt the big five: the lion, African elephant, Cape buffalo, leopard, and rhinoceros, not with a rifle, but with a Nikon and a hefty telephoto lens. Big Five Tours and Expeditions in Stuart, Florida hooked us up with Perini camps in Kenya, and we went and lived among the animals for 8 days. Perini operates small camps inside vast conservancies where the land has been leased from the Maasai landowners. This gives visitors a non-commercialized opportunity to view the wildlife up close and also the Maasai people in their natural habitat. The tribesmen work in the camps as porters, waiters, and chefs, as well as drivers and guides. And they also serve as camp guards. You cannot leave your tent at night without a spear-carrying, flashlight-toting Maasai alongside. The camps are in the middle of the animals, and it's common for them to come into the camps at night. Having a lion or some grass-munching hippos serve as your wake-up call is one of the true joys of being on safari. Game drives make up the bulk of time while on safari. The British-built, right-hand drive Defenders seem right at home in Kenya, a one-time British colony that in 2014 will mark its 50th anniversary of independence from the mother country. And while that early association might have had something to do with the Land Rovers being introduced to Kenya over, say, US-built Jeeps, spending a few days bouncing up and down on what passes for roads in Kenya, not to mention slogging through the deep red clay mud, pounding over rocks and fording streams, you begin to get the feeling that Land Rovers were designed with Kenya in mind rather than a sheep farm in the Midlands. Off-roading is a way of life in Kenya, not something one does for recreation. And Kenya may be one of the easiest foreign countries for Americans to visit. English is spoken everywhere, and we found the US dollar is also very welcome. As for the camps, we found the tents to be spacious and comfortable, with double and single beds, as well as ensuite bathrooms with flush toilets and a wash basin. The bathrooms are also equipped with safari showers, which give you 20 liters of hot water. The food is good and plentiful, with bottled water readily available. We were amazed at both the volume and size of the insects. There are flying bugs the size of your fist. For a typical Kenyan safari, expect to pay about $500 per day, plus airfare. Safari days start early. You wake up with the birds and the animals, and many days include a picnic lunch in the wilds. We quickly became fans of what the locals call a sundowner. That's a cocktail in the wilds as the sun set. Watching the last bit of the day's light reflect off Mount Kilimanjaro while sipping a cold gin and tonic around a campfire is a pinch-me kind of moment that will be remembered for a long time. For Autoweek, I'm Rogert Hart.